Hi, my name is Julie Donnelly, and I'm the developer of the Julstro self-treatment system for repetitive strain injuries that cause chronic pain and sports injuries. In this session of Stop Pain Fast, Why Muscles Cause Pain, I'll be explaining the muscles that cause hand and wrist pain and mimic the symptoms of carpal tunnel syndrome. I had had carpal tunnel syndrome that was so severe in my hand, in my wrist, that I couldn't take my hand from here to here, and I couldn't pick up a teaspoon because I couldn't feel anything with my fingers, but the pain in the wrist was excruciating. I tried everything. I did chiropractic, massage, physical therapy, medications, and eventually was told that I needed to have surgery. Well, I didn't want to do that because I know that scar tissue is going to form right over the carpal tunnel, right over the median nerve that goes to the hand, and what good would that do me? So I wasn't willing to do that. Ultimately, in exploring and reading and thinking about it, I finally decided to look at every single muscle that crosses over the nerves that end up in the hand. Now, doctors look here, massage therapists look here, but I knew that the median nerve didn't start in the middle of my elbow. Didn't know where it started, even though I had this condition for 2 whole years. Well, the median nerve actually starts up in your shoulder. So I took a look at every muscle that crossed over it, and then I looked at the trigger points, the spasms, that are shown in some research books that I had. And sure enough, every time I would press on it, it would shoot down into my wrist. It was excruciating, but I knew that it was working. So let's talk about those muscles first. There's a muscle, we're going to start from here. There's a muscle right here in your chest called the pectoralis minor. Pectoralis minor inserts on a little bone in the top of your shoulder, and that little bone is called the coracoid process. Well, your median nerve begins right here, right underneath the coracoid process. When the pec minor contracts, it pulls your shoulder forward. If you just do this and then pull your shoulder forward, you're going to feel that muscle. So it's pulling down onto the nerve, and as it does that, it refers the pain all the way down, and this numbness and burning all the way down into your hand. So I worked on that. Sure enough, found tons of trigger points on it. The next muscle is here. It's your bicep, because your bicep, one of the heads, the short head of the bicep, actually originates here right on the same coracoid process. So if your bicep muscle is tight, it's pulling down on the bone, it's pressing into the nerve. Same thing goes to your hand. The next thing I found was these muscles on the inside of the arm. These are called your flexor muscles. Your flexor muscles turn into a tendon right about here. They go down, they go through the carpal tunnel, and they insert here, here, and here in your hand and in your fingers. When these muscles contract, you do this, this, and that. Now in the meantime, these muscles on the top of your arm, they're called the extensor muscles. They originate here and they insert here and on the tips of your fingers. When they contract, you do this and that. What's happening is the flexor muscles, because they're tight, they're pulling on these tendons. The tendons go through the carpal tunnel, and the median nerve also goes through the carpal tunnel. The median nerve is the nerve that goes to your thumb and your first 2 fingers. So you have all these structures going through a very, very tiny tunnel, and the tight tendons are like trapping the median nerve and causing this to happen in the hand. Well, what I found on me was that while you would think that this should be it because it's really getting involved with the nerve right into the wrist, it ended up being more the muscles on the top of my hand from holding my hand up this way, both while I was working and just in life. I had my hand this way so many times. The extensor muscles, because they insert into the carpal bones, as they were getting tight, they were pulling back on the carpal bones, and they were causing the bones to move ever so slightly, but changing the dimensions of the carpal tunnel and putting pressure onto the nerve as it went through the carpal tunnel. Well, as I worked on them this day, it was like I found everything all on the same day. As I worked on them, it kept shooting pain into my hand and into my wrist, and it took maybe an hour, and it went away. But I was still numb. Now, I could work with numb. I couldn't work with pain. But I still wanted to find out why were my fingers numb. And I explored more, and what I found is right up here in your neck, you have a bundle of nerves that's called the brachial plexus. And that brachial plexus ultimately becomes the median nerve that goes to your thumb and your two fingers, the ulnar nerve that goes to your ring finger and your pinky, and the radial nerve that goes to your wrist. And they're all up here in this one big bundle. Well, there's a muscle that goes in front of it that's called the scalenes. And when the scalenes contract, if you're standing straight, when your scalenes contract, you do this. It doesn't bring your chin to your chest, it actually pulls your head forward. But when it's tight, it's pressing on this bundle of nerves, and it's causing the nerves to be impinged all the way before they even separate into the individual nerves. When I touched it, my arm felt like I had put it into a barbecue grill. It was excruciating. It was incredible, the burning. But as I held it, it went down and down and down, and ultimately it went away. If you're experiencing hand and wrist pain, I strongly suggest that you visit my website. It's www.carpaltunneltreatment.org, and take a look at every muscle that's crossing over these nerves. And the good news is that you can self-treat each one of these muscles that impinge on the nerves to your hand, and the tendons for each muscle that causes the pain in your hand and wrist. I hope to meet you at one of the Julstro self-treatment clinics that I teach nationwide. For more information about learning how to join a self-treatment clinic or how to self-treat, please contact me at the website shown below, www.carpaltunneltreatment.org, or you can email me at jd@juliedonnelly.com. I look forward to meeting you. Thank you.